before the Lee County Regional Planning Commission of Monday, May 17th. And we have a quorum. Would you please take roll?
Chuck Beckman is not present. Ellen Smith.
Here.
Ben Forster.
Here.
Emily Pratt. Here.
Okay, there are no meetings, no minutes to review. We have no old business. So it looks like our new business is petition number 23P74, a petition to amend the text of Lee County Code 10-4 Ag 1 Rural Agricultural District. Does anyone have any comments, questions?
I will start by walking you guys through the changes and kind of the intent behind it. What we are looking to do is create a new allowance in the ag district that will allow certain skilled trades to have their business in the ag 1 district with a special use permit with certain restrictions. We currently have a home occupation allowance in our code that allows domestic activities to occur in a residence. There are very specific requirements to that, one being no employees on site, can only be family members. So this has kind of become a challenge, and so Lee County is looking at ways to maybe address this to help some of these businesses be able to exist in the county. If you go to, I've kind of tabbed it with the little yellow or orange piece of paper. The first part is we're amending the definitions of the zoning code. And so section or title 10.1.4 rules and definition. These are all the definitions that apply to the entire zoning ordinance. We are going to add this definition of skilled trades to the zoning ordinance so that we have an understanding of what the county is looking for when it comes to this new use. So we've left it kind of vague because we're just trying to, we don't want to rule anything out, but we don't want it to include everything either. So what we're doing is we're not really defining skilled trades. We're stating what they are as far as this title is concerned. So carpenter, electrician, plumber, painter, HVAC technician, home remodeling and repair, roofer, and locksmith. This definition then also gives the zoning administrator the authority to determine whether a potential skilled trade would fall under this definition. So if it's not in this list, it doesn't mean it's out. It means it's up to the zoning administrator to make that determination. So we move on to the next portion, and that will be the Ag, Chapter 4, Ag 1 Rural Agricultural District. So we are amending this section of the code to allow, to address accessory special uses and accessory special use restrictions. With this proposed use, it cannot be a principal use in the Ag 1 district. It has to be an accessory use. So there has to be an established principal use at that location before they can have this. So that would be a residence or a farm activity. So if they're doing farming, during the summer and during their winter months, they're an electrician, this will allow them to do both. So this will also prevent somebody from purchasing a property out in the ag district with the sole purpose of creating a business. That is not the intent of this. So we've amended the section to recognize that it will be a special use, and under our chart, it'll be marked S and R to cover the restrictions. And if you look at 10-4-7.2, accessory special use restrictions, these are the restrictions that they will have to comply with in order to be able to meet what is meant by this code. The owner of the business must reside on site in a residence that meets the requirements of the Lee County zoning ordinance. So again, a person can't just buy a property with the intent of creating a business. They have to live there. It has to be a home. It can't be their trailer, their camper, something of that nature. It has to be a home that meets the definition of our code. Businesses that provide skilled trades, and we're calling it off-site services only because the intent is that they're doing the services off-site, shall be allowed under this section so long as all services provided by the business are performed off-site. The next one is businesses that provide skilled trades, off-site services only, that are allowed under this section shall be limited to one employee at the physical address of the business during business hours. So they will be able to have multiple employees, but only one employee is allowed to remain on site during the business hours. The intent is if it's a business where, you know, they're getting service calls all day, they might have a receptionist that takes these calls and then dispatches the workers to the job sites as needed. That's the intent of being able to have one on-site employee, is to basically be your business office type person that would manage that kind of stuff. No retail of goods shall occur at the business's location. We don't want anything that will draw public out to this business. That's not the intent. It's not supposed to be a store, a shop, anything of that nature. They're supposed to be providing services only, so they shall not be selling anything at the business location. And the next one, business's location shall not be open to the public. So again, they can't have people there during the business hours. Part of that is safety. We start looking into when you're drawing in the public, you know, is there ADA compliance? Do they have the parking that they should? Have they met other requirements of the code that would address having the public there at the business? The next one is no manufacturing or assembly equipment, nor combustible materials, nor chemicals, nor hazardous materials may be utilized at the business location. This is taken from the home occupation definition. We feel this is appropriate given that skilled trades really shouldn't have too many of these issues that would cause a problem. The next one is no odors, fumes, radiation, nor noise may emanate from the premises. Again, that's also taken from the home occupation. And we feel it's appropriate for this section. And the last one is no inventory or material storage outdoor may be permitted in relation to the business without first applying for a special use permit. Inventory or material storage outdoor is found in our chart that for accessory uses. That is an allowable accessory use, and our code says that it is a special use. So we are just making it clear that they cannot automatically assume they have outdoor storage, that they will have to apply for that separately. The only other thing that would be considered is a potential limit to the number of employees or a limit to the amount of square footage allowed for this type of use. The board members have, they don't want to limit the number of employees, and I have not been able to come up with language that would restrict excessive growth of this type of business. I mean, ultimately, what we don't want is somebody moving out to a farm lot that has, you know, 4 or 5 buildings, and all of a sudden they've got 4 or 5 buildings dedicated to their business. That really isn't the intent. But that is something we're going to have to continue to explore. And as of right now, this is the language that the county, my ordinance review group has reviewed and approved. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, or comments?
Well, it seems like it's consistent with the rest of the county plan, and it's not limiting farmers employing people on their farm, so, you know.
I would think the only comment I have is the one employee limit. I think you can, I mean, you're gonna have rain days, you're going to have snow days where, you know, work is impeded for a period of time and, you know, that's the time for shop projects and things like that, that you still want to keep those people employed. Yeah, they're not there on a daily basis. I don't know if we can look at adding during business hours on a regular basis or some type of language that it's not a permanent.
I have the same concern with that. I mean, I'm not sure exactly where this came from, but I can think of several places in the country where there is an off-season sort of side business.
Whether it's a trucking company or
Well, I mean,
things like that.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to say it, tree services.
Sure.
I mean, several places in the county are probably on A1 and they're running a tree service business. They're cutting wood on site. They have more than one employee that's probably there sometimes. You're right, most of their work does take place off site, but this just seems awfully restrictive.
So,
And I'm not sure why. And it's probably my inexperience because I don't know a lot about zoning code, but
so if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, would that be an ag use though? So
is it? So
yes.
something like that
So-
would not be. We're talking
So that
about-
wouldn't be affected. So
Okay,
these are typically, the reason, yes.
commercial.
Yes.
Okay,
The-
okay.
And that's the thing. We employ a special use permit when a use not typical of the district is introduced. So typically this would be appropriate for a commercial industrial zone. It is, we are trying to make it acceptable in an ag district, but with very strict restrictions. And we are, the intent is to be restrictive. We're not trying to develop businesses out in the ag zone, but we are trying to allow small businesses to operate from their home-based location.
Okay, I understand.
So what we are trying to do is limit, somebody coming out, buying up property and then creating some huge industrial type business
Right.
out there under this guise. So there are reasons for those restrictions and I've gone through a lot and a lot of it comes back to, can it fit under the home occupation? Does it already fit under ag? Will it be applied under this code? So that's where I keep having to go back and forth with things and you have to look at each individual situation. I cannot do anything about the employee change right now. But I will bring that comment to the ordinance review group, this group of 4 county board members that I work with, to get their thoughts, see if they want to alter that any further. But as far as what is here, is there any other questions, any other concerns?
This is off the wall probably, but HVAC people, don't they have to carry Freon? Wouldn't that be a chemical or is that okay because that's just normal for their trade?
Is it combustible?
No idea. It just says no chemicals, nor combustible materials, nor chemicals, nor hazardous materials. So I'm just saying, maybe we just need to say not, not typical to that profession or not, you know what I mean? You don't want them,
There's no commas. Therefore, they all have to be combustible.
I'm not good at grammar.
I mean, as part of the special use permit, are they not going to declare what's going to be kept on site? Things like
Probably,
that.
right? Or you
Right.
could just, or
You
just,
know, and it will go through the zoning board process, correct?
true.
And the zoning board will have the ability to put conditions on that permit. So,
That
Okay.
covers it then.
okay.
Common sense is gonna play in here. They're gonna have to keep gasoline on site to mow the lawn.
Well, right. I'm just,
Correct.
they're probably just thinking stuff that's out of the ordinary that shouldn't.
Well, and I know like some electricians do the generators and there's batteries involved with that, so I think,
It's considered a hazardous substance.
There you go.
okay. That is, we can always add like an unless at the end of that. No manufacturing may be utilized at the business location unless it is required. Let me put that back onto you. Are we satisfied that it's a special use and the zoning board will take care of it, or do you want to add further to that? I'm sorry, I should leave that up to you guys.
I'm satisfied that the zoning board will take care of
Okay,
it. I don't know what anybody else is.
I'm fine with it the way it is.
I mean, I don't know how you would change it. I mean, other than, what everybody else already knows is that the zoning board, their special permit will have
okay,
more details.
okay. We'll leave it.
It's gonna go through the zoning board, then it's gonna go through the county board for approval. The zoning board's going to either make a recommendation to allow it or,
But their permit will have more specifics, right?
yeah, and
Then
they'll
this
go
has
through a
to.
hearing process where they can be asked
Right.
of what
Okay.
they're, similar to when they come here for waiver of Lisa on building a piece of
Right.
property. We get to ask questions. Okay.
So does anyone want to make a motion?
I move, we recommend the textual amendment to petition 23 PC 74 to the county board for consideration.
I will second that.
Everyone who agrees, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. It passes. Any other business?
Not currently. Boy, yeah. It just seems to be a lot going through our office, but I don't think anything coming at you guys. We have another solar coming to zoning board, next month. We do have a petition that will be exercising this, text amendment here in the near future as well. GSG got their building permits for 9 of their 13 turbines, so they're gonna start their construction. What else? Yeah, it's just nonstop.
Do we have a motion to end the meeting?
So moved.
No
Second.
second required.
Oh, no second required?
No.
Well, see, you know so much more about this than I do.
You can
Okay,
adjourn it.
okay,
Now that
awesome.
there's a
Thank
motion.
you.